So we've been working on this teen summit for years as a way to make an impact for more than just a moment. So we came up with the L.E.V.E.L Teen Summit. L.E.V.E.L standing for leadership, education, vision, effort, and love. And those are the things that we feel are important for your success. And to have the opportunity to have 31 teenagers from the inner city here at the University of Maryland is something that, is special. With this summit, we wanted to bring them, from Baltimore to the University of Maryland, not because it's the best university in the world and we went there, but to get them onto a college campus and to be able to see what it's like to stay in a dorm, to walk around campus and kind of have that feel while also talking with them and having meetings and speakers about things that they need to overcome. Whether it's what do you value, creating a vision, who you associate with. And we've had a few different speakers come and talk to them about it and activities that followed in hopes that they can build over this weekend, that they leave out better than they came in. My first conversation was about values, and I actually, was able to speak about that. And, we wanted to work that started off the right way in understanding yourself, understanding who you are as an individual and what you value and how that's important to your success in the future. I also learned the importance of staying away from drugs and alcohol. I watched the way it made this man treat my mother. I watched how he beat her down. I watched how it beat him down. I watched how it put us in neglectful situations. And I knew that it kind of was a demon in a way, alcohol and drugs. And I knew that I needed to avoid that if I wanted to be, reach my goals, which was always to go to college. I wasn't one of those kids who was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the NFL. I mean, I might have said it every once in a while, football season, I think I'm a football player. Baseball season, I think I'm A-Rod or somebody. And then, basketball come around, I think I'm D-Wade, Kobe, Magic, whoever it may be. But at the end of the day, I wanted to go to college. And then my reason for it was because I knew that, being completely honest, I knew that you needed a college degree to make more money. Everything I saw and everything I valued was because of things that, I had been through and things that I had witnessed. I didn't wait around, for me to learn and make mistakes on my own. I didn't let, my situation define me. I didn't let anything that I was dealing with at the time control me because I control those things. It's so many things in this world that you can't control, but you can't control your effort. You can't control your attitude. And those are really the two biggest things that can take you wherever you want to go. You can't control how you're being raised. You can't control what's going on at home. But I can control doing my schoolwork and make sure my grades are tight because I want to get a scholarship. And if my grades are trash and no one's going to want me, I can control that. I can control staying out of trouble. You know what I mean? I know if I'm out here fighting or doing drugs or whatever that I'm not going to be, where I want to be, that no one's going to want me and I'm not going to be able to go to school. And that didn't have anything to do with sports. I just need to get to college. I knew my mama couldn't pay for it. If she could, she would, but I knew she couldn't. So it was either that or the military. And anything that was in the way of that, I wasn't going to let it distract me. So I had my goals. I had these things I valued, and it was because of everything bad that happened. And I think I say that to say this, don't let, your circumstances, your situations, because you go to Dunbar, because you stay in the hood, because, your folks hooked on drugs, because, you see abuse and neglect at home, because you might not even got a place to stay. Define you. It doesn't matter. That's just your start. That's not your ending. You know what I mean? And that's really the important thing. And you can value that now. I think it's a lot harder when you're in those shoes to see that. But I promise you, I put that on my son, my wife, everybody I love, that if you stay committed to your goals and you do, and honestly, you just listen to the folks around you, being your teachers, your counselors, folks like Travis, whoever it may be, the people that really care about you, you'll be where you want to be, man. And I think oftentimes as young cats, you don't see it and you think it's too hard, right? Your friends aren't doing that. My cousin ain't doing that. So, I'm going to go kick it with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to stay away from talking about sports as much as possible because I promise you that ain't what it's about. But for me, I knew, hey, I wanted to go get this scholarship. I ain't about to get that sitting on the couch. You know what I'm saying? I had time to play video games when I got home, but I need to make sure my grades was tight, and I need to make sure I was working out, doing things I could to make me a better athlete. Because why? I wanted to be a better college. If I wanted to be a scientist, I would have been at home like in Dexter's laboratory, you know what I mean, trying to make some stuff up. but that's not what I wanted to do. So I just feel like, you get your values together, these things that mean the most to you, and you put it all together and you work towards it, and any and everything, if that comes up for you in school, when you're outside of school with your friends or whatever, if you just tell yourself, is this in the way of where I want to go, I promise you it'll eliminate so many problems, so much stress that you guys are running into. We followed what do you value up with what is your vision. And we had a speaker come in, L.E.V.E.L, and he used poetry, his art of poetry, and also his storytelling of telling his story, what he's been through, coming from Baltimore and making it out and having his goal from day one that he knew he wanted to do and taking a different route. The kids, they really took to it, and it kind of put, again, what do you value, and also, creating a vision. Those are things you need to do, and understanding who you are and knowing where you want to go.
And also, before I start any of my performances, I always like to assert my firmest beliefs. No matter what obstacles you face in life, always pursue your passion. Never have a plan B, because it only distracts you from your plan A. Memories. Memories can be beautiful. Memories can be ugly. Sometimes I ask my memories, why didn't you love me? Memories, oh memories, they bring me much sorrow. But all I can do now is root for a better tomorrow. My teething ring was numb with madness and filled with nothing but sadness. I had it bad growing up. For new parents, I used to recommend. Because whenever my father was blazed off heroin or plastered off gin, he would lurk late nights or broad day, pull out guns and rob my own friends. Memories. I remember these memories just like that. Laying on the living room floor, watching Hey Arnold and Rugrats. 6 deep, the police came and burst through the back, fully equipped and strapped with black gats. It had to be bad luck, because I was the young black cat. My mother, she burned pieces of my heart, and these missing pieces are what reflect on my art, like the stars coming out in the afternoon on a summer day at 1:15. That's how she violated her son. I will always receive bad news like the 757. Sometimes I wish I was a stillborn. I could have went straight to heaven and dodged all of these bullets that pierced my little lungs from these two son of a guns. I just want to relive my childhood and have some real fun. I don't need confusing metaphors and similes to paint you all my extremities. I just ask that when I die, that you all remember me.
Speakers surprise me the most, because usually when you hear speakers, they don't be actually from areas that we actually from. Kawani was actually giving us street names. I walk past the street all the time, so it was surprising to know it's somebody that was in the same predicament, situations that I was in, and he still made it out being different.
I may not remember all their names, but all their speeches, everything they talk, inspired me the most. All of them had a dream, and they never gave up, and they had the confidence. Even though they have different circumstances, they never looked down. They were like, yeah, I have a dream. You can't pull me back. If I have a goal, I'm going to my goal. I'm going towards my goal. I'm going to grab it. Yeah, that's it.
I really liked how the speakers came in and told us their stories, tried to relate to us in a way, because most of them were from the same area as us, have gone through some of the things that we've gone through, know some of the places that we go to all the time. And so I think it was really cool how they got people that actually know kinds of things that we do now, not people that just go around doing talks with people all over the world, just local speakers.
They were very attentive the whole night, and it was something that you can tell they all appreciated. And having the speakers give their time, it was something that they showed their appreciation for them. We had William Tipper Thomas come in and talk about overcoming adversity and also a part of your vision. His story, his testimony, he was able to share with the kids that he had to overcome a lot to get to where he was. He never let anything that happened to him get in the way of being successful and reaching his goals.
Between the end of that phone call, and by the time he got there, everything in my life changed. Got the phone call, I see Matt pull up in a black on black 745, spinning rims. Clearly that's not a teacher's car. Clearly it's not a student's car. In Baltimore City, it's a whose car? Matt gets out the front seat, approaches my man Danny, who's from the city like I'm from the city. God rest his soul. I'll tell you about that later too. Says, yo, where your man's at? Says, yo, it's 3:30. Y'all supposed to ford at 1. He gone. Goes back to the car, tell him what he heard, right? Administration take notice that Matt's on campus. They call school resource officers back to campus. Matt goes across the street. Because he was what? Suspended from school that day. That means he was trespassing. Police officers search his car, tell him to go home. Police school resource officers leave. 15 minutes later, they circle back around the block, come back up, say, yo, where your man's at? He's not here. By this time, we got on the phone, Mr. Eric, Martise's father. Some dudes came up here looking for Martise. Mr. Eric's on campus. He said, look, my son's not here. Talking to Matt directly. My son is not here. Go home. There's not going to be any trouble today. Matt leaves again. 10 minutes later, roll back around, and he says to Danny one more time, yo, where your man's at? He says he's not here, and I'm tired of you asking me. Goes back to the car, 3 more people get out the car. And all I hear from them is, yo, I ain't come out here for nothing. I ain't come all the way out to the county for nothing. We fighting somebody. So they walk back up to Danny again. Danny hot, because Danny was always a hothead. Swings on Matt, and a huge fight breaks out between my teammates and those 4 guys. Now granted, those were my guys, my teammates. But I have no idea what the result of this fight is going to be. Graduation is 3 weeks away. Summer workouts is a month away at Morgan. Somebody's going to get suspended, somebody might get expelled, somebody might get arrested. Neither one of those work for me in my vision. So I'm running around trying to break it up, like, yo, chill, chill, chill. And all of a sudden I hear those words. They got heat. Shots just start ringing out. And I remember people running everywhere. Now, mind you, it was a charity basketball game, 100+ people outside in the parking lot, just being kids, talking about who was going to prom, of who was wearing what we was doing afterwards, just being kids on a sunny Friday afternoon. And all of a sudden, gunfire erupts. And people are running everywhere, screaming everywhere, trying to duck and cover for their lives. And I remember running towards my left, and I see one of my old linemen completely run over this young lady who was maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. Now, as football players, we used to people running towards at full speed and keep on trucking. And she falls like almost damn near in front of me. And I remember, y'all know what scoop and score drill is? I remember doing exactly that. Picking her up, because she was so small, and lifting her up. And when I did that, I felt a burning sensation right here in the back of my neck. And as I'm carrying her and I throw her behind a car, I feel another one in the back of my shoulder. And I remember falling to the ground. And when I hit the ground, I felt my body from here on down just go numb. And I remember trying to get up, like, what the hell's going on? I'm a 3-sport athlete, basketball, football, track. Used to being able to do whatever I want with my body, and now I can't move. Then I realized being on the ground is the safest place to be because shots are still ringing out. A car speeds off, I hear crying, I hear yelling, and then I see my basketball coach, Bishop Elliott, standing over top of me. School secretary, Mrs. Holly, standing over top of me. and my cousin who had just arrived to pick me up standing over top of me. And the look in my cousin's eye told me everything I needed to know, that I was in bad shape. Because all of my life, I've never seen my cousin cry until I was 17 years old. Now, this is one of my cousins who inspired me to be an engineering major once I got to Moore. The same cousin who taught me how to run, who taught me basketball drills, who, you know what I'm saying, was my role model growing up and still is to this day. I never saw him cry until I was laying in the streets of Baltimore, shot and bleeding.
A young man robbed of his innocence by gunfire years ago, never took his eyes off his ultimate goal that he all had in his whole life.
That's right. You know, we've watched this young man grow up and get stronger in the face of really unexplainable tragedy. Tonight, Pete O'Neill has the story of Tipper's triumph.
He then passed that gun off to someone who had been sitting in the passenger seat, who fired some additional shots.
That was over 7 years ago when Bill Torrey, spokesperson for the Baltimore County Police Department at that time, was giving a statement about the 4 kids who had just been shot at Randallstown High School after they were leaving a charity basketball game.
I know that there is a God, because if there wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to hold on as long as I did, losing that much blood, laying in a high school parking lot. So the whole time I was praying to him to help me stay strong. And the helicopter came just in time to get me to the hospital, because he came any late, I wouldn't be laying in this bed right now. I'd be in a pine box.
The 4 kids who were shot were never the intended targets. They were caught in the crossfire. 3 of the kids would totally recover, but 1 would not. After pushing one of his friends out of the way, a bullet entered William Thomas's neck and injured his spine. And on that day, changed his life forever.
And other lives.
It would take months of intense therapy, but William Thomas, known as Tipper, was determined to graduate with his high school class.
Tipper Thomas is determined, and he is strong, and as the inspiration he is here with us tonight. Please welcome graduating senior William Tipper Thomas.
Waited 12 long years to get this right here. I got another one to get in 4 years.
That's right. You want to get that one from Morgan, right?
From Morgan State University in electrical engineering.
That's it.
Y'all can look for that one too.
Can you now see where this story is going? Take a look and see who's sitting up tallest among all the others.
Boils down to having a goal and taking the necessary steps to accomplish it. I drew my motivation from something that actually one of my good teachers right here did for me. Dr. L.E.V.E.L. He came and saw me every week when I was in the rehab hospital. So when I was struggling for my motivation to keep pushing forward in life, I would look up and see where I was trying to get, which is Morgan State University, and that kept me pushing in therapy and helped to keep me moving me forward.
This is what Roosevelt Lethbridge said about Tipper in a report he did years ago.
There is a theory. Time is like a vast roadway with thousands of lanes. By changing lanes, you change the outcome of events in your life and affect the lives of others. William is on a bumpy road right now, but he's determined to get back on the path where he belongs. He's going to get his life back.
That incident robbed me of prom, senior day, senior farewell. I've been wanting to go to Morgan State ever since I was a little boy, considering I grew up right across the street from there. So I'm determined to go, whether I'm in a wheelchair or walking on my own 2 feet. I will be going to Morgan.
So congrats to engineer Tipper Thomas, graduate of Morgan State University. We know this is not the end of your story, just the end of this chapter. Pete O'Neill, ABC 2 News.
We we finished our conversation with Stacey Carver talking about associations. Who are you with? Who are your friends? A line that sticks with me is, if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And I think that hit a lot of the kids hard. It hit me hard as well, just in terms of talking to them about understanding how important it is to be around the right people, to be in the right places.
People who are destined for greatness. That means you sit up in the front. That means every time somebody's speaking, your eyes are on that person. Wow, there's something about that dude right there. His eyes haven't been off me since I stepped into the room. What's up with these dudes up in the front? Why are they in the front? I ain't afraid. Boom, this is where I'm gonna be. I'm ready. I want to be associated. I want my kids to be associated with them. Why? Because whatever they got is going to rub off. Guilty by association. You in the car. I ain't did nothing. You got time. Think about who you put yourself around at all times. That's why I love coaches when they telling the athletes, watch who you hang around. Go right home after practice. Don't be with that girl. Don't be with them dudes over there. I know that your boys love them, but you need to be in practice. You need to be in practice. Look at your associations. How many friends in here can you make a pact with to become successful? How many people in here have 3 friends? 3 friends that you can look at and can build with. Somebody says, nah, man, do your work. Sit up. Somebody quick to pull you out of class. Somebody quick to tell you, let's go get high. You got all those. It's easy to do the wrong thing, but who can stand the test of time? Who can stand and say, you know what, now I ain't rolling with you today. I need to be with these folks because it ain't about today, it's about tomorrow.
We followed up our morning session on Saturday with a rope climbing course and other team building activities to kind of talk about the things we did and put it to work. And we had to use our vision in order to make certain challenges work. We had to work together as a team. We had to communicate. You know, we had to rely on each other. There were just certain tasks that you couldn't figure out without, you know, working together. And again, these students, some of them may go to the same high school, but the majority of them do not know each other. And we were in groups. You know, we kind of planned to put them in groups that they weren't with people that they know. And it was able to come out. We had a great time. You know, there was a lot of noise going around. I'm sure it's probably not that loud when guys are competing, but there's a lot of competitive, you know, young men there who wanted to be successful, and a lot of teamwork, and a lot of great communication, a lot of encouragement, and things that we wanted to see out of them this weekend occur. And we had it. We literally got everything that we wanted out of that day. We finished it up that evening, you know, with a dinner and an etiquette dinner. You know, came sharp dressed, had black ties on, white shirts, and guys were loving how they were feeling. And Stacey Carver came back in the evening to talk about your attire and how it's more than just how you dress, it's how you carry yourself. And it's something that, again, we all were able to get something out of, and I'm thankful for those guys giving their time.
I want to use the opportunity to thank Torrey Smith and Shania and by the name of my friends, and I make new friends here today, this weekend. I never seen them before. I enjoy my whole weekend. Like, I have a lot of fun. I want to use this opportunity to thank you all for everything you have done for us, all the clothes, the food, the shelter. As in, you all spend a lot for us. I really appreciate it. And may God bless you and bless your family. Thank you. Cheers.
So what I do is I talk about 3 A's that I have young men live by. Articulation, association, and attire. Articulation, association, and attire. Everybody in this room right now is on that path to being whatever you want to be. Whatever you want to be, your path starts now. Man, look good. Your first impression is a lasting impression. Your first impression is a lasting impression with anybody who you're around. You school uniform, you got a cardigan, get that cardigan. Because that's showing you know what you about it. A cardigan is athletic. That's scholarship right there. So please understand the importance of attire when you walk into a room. Because somebody sees you, you know what? It's something about you, son. Then you ain't even said nothing. Now, once they talk to you, now you got to be able to carry it after that. But you got to set that precedence. You got to be the person that stands up and says that, because you can't come here today, because when you get back to school, they're going to be talking about you. Your principal going to bring you on stage. You around Torrey Smith. You ain't around Joe Blow. You laughing, but they probably going to bring you on stage. And what you going to be like, now you're looking like a clown. Like why would you want to go be with him if that's how you still acting? Nobody rises to low expectations. However you came in here Friday, make a change. Go home a better person. A better person. Letting everybody know what you learned this weekend. Articulation, association, and attire. My name is Stacy Carver. Peace and love.
We finished up the event on Sunday with the students creating their own vision boards and their own personal mission statement. And we figured, you teach them about values, you teach them about their vision, you teach them about their associations, and you put it all together. And that's how you truly understand who you are and what you need to do going forward. And those guys, they're all into it. We use magazines and use cut-ups to create their own boards and posters that they can look to. And there's a lot of guys in the room, a lot of adults, that they're able to look to, have things that they rely on, to get them through, things that remind them of where they want to be, myself included. So that's the activity that they all enjoyed as well. We also had them write down their goals, their short-term goals, their long-term goals, and what they need to do, to achieve them. And from this whole weekend, we know that they do know what they need to do as an individual and is in terms of being a leader and what they need to do just to take care of business. We helped them create that plan, a plan that they've always had in their head, but a lot of them just didn't know how to express it. And so through this weekend, we've been able to put that together in hopes that, they left this weekend better than they came in, and they know exactly what they need to do, and more importantly, they can hold themselves accountable because they have everything they need in front of them, and they've heard everything that they need to hear.
It was supposed to be for the mentors, but I learned a lot. Taking from each speaker, and you really appreciate things more. And I don't know, I just learned so much from each speaker. They gave me some, I have notes just like the mentees do. So I was writing down notes because I love to learn and get better. I believe if you stop learning, you should stop leading. So as a mentor, I also have to, hold myself accountable, learning the things that I don't know about either. So this was a great weekend for not just for the kids, but for the mentors as well. I feel like we had a good group of mentors. Torrey and Chanel did a great job selecting these men because we all have the same passion. We love this. We love doing what we do, and you can tell that the kids were impacted.
We will level up.
biggest thing I want the kids to take away from this weekend, obviously, I want them to say that they had a great time. You know, I want them to say that they felt like they were loved, that the men who were here and the women who were here truly cared about them. And I want them to understand what they have to do for their future. They're great kids. You know, some in tough situations, but they're great kids. And they want to be successful, and we want to help them, you know, to be successful. So I want them to just leave understanding and having a plan and just being able to, you know, look in their back pocket, look in their wall, look on their phone, see whatever they wrote down, and just know that, you know, they're on the right track, and we were a small part of that, and hopefully, you know, they're able to be successful in whatever it may be, whether it's graduating or going to trade school, whatever it may be. It's different for everyone. I just want them to leave better, you know, than they were when they came in, and to be able to finish this thing out the right way.